Good afternoon. Welcome to our live stream. Today we are talking about the Harry Potter movies. I have a very interactive lesson for us today. Things are going to be, we have a lot to cover. If this is the first time you've ever joined one of my lessons, then welcome. I'm Jen, as you see floating down here at the bottom of the screen, and I'm here every Wednesday. So if you are looking for a place to be able to improve your English, to meet up with people who also are doing the same thing, to talk about a bunch of different goals, to come and make a bunch of mistakes with me, also have successes, then you're more than welcome to join this community, join this account. You can find it right here. I'm here every week. Our topic, like I said, this week is Harry Potter and all of the movies from Harry Potter. So welcome to those of you who are here. Ciao, Alessio. Buongiorno. So welcome. I hope everybody who celebrated Easter had a nice holiday, and welcome. I see that we already have several people here. I wanted to take a second because I thought it was pretty cool. Hey, Kaluna, darling. Several of you were in yesterday's live stream on Ewa with Mike. And Mike, he said like he was reading your comments and stuff. And several times he was like, wow, people here who are in the comments right now, they're really writing intelligent things. They have interesting things to say, and they're saying it very well. And so I know a lot of those comments came from you, my regulars who are here every week. So I think you should give yourself a little pat on the back for coming every week, for participating, for improving your English. You're doing a phenomenal job. And I think that we just need to have a little bit of a round of applause. Actually, I just found, hold on. I found some little, where is it? Hold on, let me see where it is. I found some, here we go. No, acoustic cinnamon, we don't want that. Sorry, I'm looking for sound effects. I had it all lined up here. Okay, intense applause, here we go. So that's for all of you who show up every week. It is paying off. I think that your English was already good before you found me, but showing up every week, it's really paying off. You're doing a phenomenal job, and I don't say that enough. So thank you for being here. Hello, Lorena. Hello, Alessio. Hello, Serena. So good job, everyone. Yeah, let's continue and learn and improve. You're doing a great job. And I thought it was pretty cool because Mike doesn't know some of you. So this is totally him just being, neutral here and going, wow, these people really know what they're talking about and they're able to express themselves. So congrats, guys. Let's hop to today's lesson. I'm going to get rid of this banner, I hope, and pop up our first slide for today. Okay, here we go. I've got a poll question for you, and maybe I should actually start and ask you, how many of you have seen the Harry Potter movies? Are you a fan of the Harry Potter series? Yes, no, read the books, didn't read the books. I personally found that the books were 1,000 times better than the movies. But, that's quite often the case, right? Where your imagination is often better than what other people create. So, and if you don't like Harry Potter, if this is not your cup of tea, no stress whatsoever. This is going to be a really nice lesson about talking about things that are more about ourselves. I saw this several times, saw the movie several times. Okay, got it. All right, so you can answer, not answer, as you wish. Here is our first poll question for today. If you were at Hogwarts, which class would you like most? So potions, this is when you make special liquids that are magical and can do different things. B, defense against the dark arts. C, care of magical creatures. Or D, flying lessons. So which one of these lessons do you think would be the most interesting? I haven't encountered Harry Potter movies and books. Okay, so you don't know them. Okay, but you've heard of them, Kaluna, right? So I guess you've heard of them. And like I said, if you've not seen the film, I always try to do this so that it's not like you need to have. We're here just to learn and to have fun and to explore a topic. So no biggie. So how would you answer this? Would you like to make like special concoctions that people can drink and become super strong or whatever? Or defense against the dark arts, knowing how to protect yourself from dark energy. C, taking care of magical creatures, maybe like a flying horse, I guess a Pegasus, or dealing with dragons, or flying lessons. Would you like to fly? So Kalina wants to do B and D. Protect yourself and be able to fly. So D, Lorena, I loved the most of the first movie. You loved most of the first movie from Harry Potter. Okay. B and D. I definitely don't want to do D. Hello, Michaela, darling. Hello. I'm so freaked out by flying. I don't even like flying in an airplane. I have like motion sickness and height sickness. So that I travel as much as I do is crazy. Every time I get on a plane, I'm like, ugh. So I definitely don't want to do D. I think I would kind of like to do, I don't know, I guess A? I don't know. I'm not sure. So B and D. I'm surprised nobody wants to take care of magical creatures, but there you have it. It is what it is. All right, so we're going to start. Sorry, what we did yesterday, where we go through each of the books, like the main themes from the books, from the movies. And in the first book, it's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So you can tell me things you remember about that movie or the book. I will read you a short little paragraph about the book, sort of summarizing it. So for those of you like Luna, hey, Margarita, darling, nice little coffee. I'll drink a little water to you. And so we'll go through it a little bit. We're on the first book, The Philosopher's Stone. Hello, Hitoko. My first son is a big fan of Harry Potter, but he is already in a dreamland. He's already asleep. So sorry, I have no idea about it. So no stress. In the first book, I'll tell you what happens, okay? So the story is about friendship, discovering your strengths, and learning about yourself. Harry quickly makes friends with Ron and Hermione. Hermione's a very strange name. So it's a girl's name in this case, a female name. Shows how friendship can grow in new situations and discover his own talents by like flying on a broomstick. So the story starts where Harry is a normal boy. He lives at his aunt and uncle's house. They treat him horribly. He's an orphan. His parents are dead. And then he finds out that he's not just an ordinary boy living in a horrible situation, that he's actually magical. Harry Potter lived with his ugly cousin. Exactly. He had to live underneath the staircase. He had a horrible life. And then he goes off into this magical world where he is somebody very important. So I think that's kind of cool how it starts that way. So like I said, if you've not seen the film, no worries. But Harry goes off to Hogwarts. He makes a lot of new friends. He's in a completely new situation. So this is kind of trying to relate to it, but yet for those of you who've never seen it, making it interesting. So here we go. All right, so how do you usually make new friends? So is it A, through shared hobbies or interest, B, through work or study, C, mutual friends, or D, kind of find it hard to make new friends? So what would you say? What is the best way that you have found to make new friends? Hi, Yuki, sweetie. Welcome. I've so enjoyed seeing the beautiful Japanese cherry blossoms in bloom in your stories. Okay, so Serena makes friends A, through shared interest and hobbies. So Alessio as well. Anyone else? I think at the moment, I don't really get out very much. I need to. So right now it's C, through mutual friends. So A, sometimes D, I find it hard to make new friends. I do too sometimes. Like friends. It's everything's cool with everyone, but yeah, I don't know. Lorena as well. And I think that's it, right? That's kind of like as we get older, it's sometimes more difficult to make new friends. Michaela, B, through work and study, and C, through mutual friends. At the same time, it is hard to make new friends. Okay, so let's move on to that, because I do think this is a legitimate issue as an adult to make new friends, right? When you're young, you're going to school, it's pretty easy. When you are studying, or when you, yeah, that kind of situation. Hello to you. I'm not sure what your name is. A and B. Okay, and let me hop over to here. Sorry, boop. I have to move myself. I think that looks better. Okay, so I do have this as a question. Let's do number 1 first. Think about one of your close friendships. How did it start, and was it instant? So think about one of your closest friends. Where did you meet? How did it start? I think of my friend Melissa Alessio. You might remember Alessio and Yuki too, maybe Hitoko, I don't know. But several years ago, I did a live stream with my best friend from the United States, but that was a long time ago. But we met at work. So through, yeah, or E, oh, I love that, Michaela. Yes, that should have been an option. Ooh, I'm going to plop that up. I love that. Yes, you can come and make friends here. Absolutely. It is kind of, yeah, love it, love it, love it. All right. So, yeah, think of your closest friends, or a close friend, let's say. Where did you meet them? I met Melissa at work. How did it start? We were working together, and it was instant. We just clicked instantly. She's my soul sister. I go through long periods of time when we don't talk, and then we pick back up like nothing, no time has gone between us. So think about one of your friendships. How did it start? Was it instant? Because sometimes we have friends and it takes a while to kind of get to know each other. I remember you were live with your best friend. Yes, you were around back then. I'm trying to think, that was probably almost like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Long time ago. Yeah, so what can you tell me? Friend number 1, close friend, did you meet at work? Did you meet through sport? Did you have mutual friends? And then you met them and became closer? Was it university? And was it a friendship that was like an instant connection, or did it take a little bit of time? So maybe you can tell me a little bit the situation. I don't know if people are writing or not. I'm always like, I really need my dots. I need my WhatsApp dots that show that somebody's writing. I will slowly go on to number 2, just because I don't know if anyone is interested in answering number 1. So if you're answering number 1, no stress, go for it, do it. But here's number 2. It's harder to make close friends as an adult. What are some ways adults can make friends? So we just said in the previous slide, a lot of us said, it's kind of hard as an adult to make friends when you're younger or when you have a child. It's so easy. I believe in instant connection. Okay. So what can we do? You can show up to my lessons, as Michaela said, right? And you can make some new friends that way as an adult. So you're working on a hobby, learning English, and you're able to then make friends who are also interested in the same thing. I love our little community. It's so great. It's so amazing. Our little corner here in YouTube. Yeah, it was an instant connection. I became friends with my neighbor through walking dogs. Right. Okay. So that can happen too. I like that. Thanks, Satoko, for sharing that. All right, and things that we can do as an adult to make friends. It's not always easy. I think the easiest time to make friends is when you're at university or school of any sort, when you have a new baby and or in your like different, or if your kids are in school as well, because then you get to know the parents. That's always easy. Even having a dog is a good way for someone to be able to make friends. Yeah. One of my close friends is from my junior high school. We were both comic lovers. So you loved comic books. Okay, nice. Number 2, anybody choose to answer that, you're more than welcome to do so. I think like what people said earlier, that with hobbies is a great way to be able to find like-minded souls. Yeah. You can make friends going to the gym. So super, absolutely. So I guess it's kind of a hobby, a sport and a hobby. I don't know. What about with number 3? Have you ever discovered you were really good at something? So in our book, Harry Potter just thinks he's a normal boy. Actually, he's kind of like he has a really bad life. And then he finds out that he is actually magical and that he can do all of these things, that he's super talented, that he can ride a broomstick really great and participate in sports. And these are things he just sort of discovered about himself. So has there ever been something that you thought you were you, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I'm really good at this. I can do this. It's okay. And what was it and how did you discover it? Number 3, have you ever discovered that you were good at something? What was it and how did you discover that you were good at it? What can you say? And I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I never ever would have thought that I could do live streams with a camera and all of these kinds of things. You all know I'm really technically, I have no idea what's going on. So that's the first thing. I don't like being in front of a camera. Everyone in my family is very much in front of a camera or very into being in the spotlight, and I've never been interested in that. So I'm surprised that I'm doing this. So this is something that I think I do okay. I mean, you know, I think I'm not so horrible at it, but I never would have thought that I could do it. So this is something that I discovered much later in life. Does anybody else have anything? Maybe you found out that you're a good singer, or maybe that you are really good at remembering things, or I don't know, something. I feel it's much easier to make friends after I grew up. Okay, I was not good at communication when I was young. Now I know who I am and who I want to be friends with. Yuki, that's an interesting point. Okay, yeah. And I think maybe you make the right friendships because you know yourself better now. So maybe when you're younger, you might look for things in a friend that are not really good for you, that maybe the cool person, but maybe they're not really the kind person. So as you get older, then you know more about what you need and what you don't need. I recently discovered that I am stronger than I thought. Woohoo! So stronger physically or stronger sort of psychologically, internally? What would you say? Any other discoveries? It doesn't have to be recent. Maybe when you were a kid, you thought you were one way, and as you got older, that you realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this. This is something I can do well. And maybe in your culture, it's not common to talk about things you can do well. I live in Germany, and many people have a real problem trying to be positive about themselves. Both wonderful, even better, Serena, even better. Okay, so maybe some of you are answering this question, maybe some of you are not. So I will continue on, and if you are writing, no stress, continue writing. Let me know what you have to say. My daughter to comfort me usually says, I'm not sure what that says. I think there's a bit of a typo there. Lorena, help me, please. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so we're moving on to the next book, and it was Harry Potter and the Chamber. Hold on, oops, sorry. Let me remove this, and move me back here. So we're moving on to the next book, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. You love to make new friends. By the way, your pictures in your story were very charming and cool. Which story? I'm not sure. Thank you. I'm not sure which story you mean. I have many potential mini sports. Okay, so in this case, Lorraine, you could say I'm very athletic. Yeah, I'm great at sports. I'm athletic. I recently discovered that I'm good at walking. I can walk 10 kilometers a day without hustle. Sounds good, Yuki. All right. So super. Thanks, guys, for sharing. And we're moving on to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I know a lot of you have not read this or read the books or seen the movies. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea what's going on in this section and the Instagram stories. Okay. I'm not sure. Do you mean the one from when I was from the 90s, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. So in this book, Harry faces pressure from his classmates and danger at Hogwarts. That's the school he goes to. But he stays brave and he stays true to his values, like helping friends and investigating the Chamber of Secrets. So this is kind of what's going on in this part of in this book. And in the movie, some wizards treat muggles. These are people who are non-magical, people born without magical powers, and half-bloods, half-bloods are people with one magical parent. Anyway, so there's this distinction. Like, we have a lot of times in society. So there's a class distinction. So if you come from a family that's magical, then you are somehow better than those who maybe only have one parent or no parents, you just happen to be magical. And so they're treated unfairly because they are not pure bloods. So this is a poll question for you about that. Remove from the studio. And let's see, because I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this. Okay, so you do mean the thing from the 90s, Satoko. Yes, I don't usually do these trend things, I'm like, and I don't know how much to share about myself. I just don't take myself so seriously, but I thought this was kind of fun. And I really loved going through all those old pictures. It was so much fun. I think I've not looked at them in 100 years. So yeah, it was fun to do that. I'm glad you appreciated it. Okay, here's our poll question. Do you think that social class still affects opportunities today? So in this wizarding community, if you came from a family that had many generations of magical people, you were here. I have to do this here. I don't know what's going on. You're here. And if you came from a family that didn't, you were like, in society somehow, right? From the people that were snobby. So what is it like in your country today? Do you think that social class still affects people's opportunities today in your country? A, yes, more than ever. B, yes, but less than it did before, perhaps. C, it depends on, I don't know, let's say the situation, not the country. And D, no, hard work is what matters. Everyone is equal in my country. And yeah, so what would you say? I would say in Germany, no, hard work is what matters. There's not, it's sort of egalitarian here to a certain extent. Of course, if you have money, you can afford to have tutors, you can afford to have good connections. You have connections that are going to help you find jobs and do different things. So, that's kind of those things that come with being in a family maybe that does have more. But yeah, okay, so Alessio says in Italy, no, I would say D. Serena in Italy says B, but less than before. Yuki says B, yes, but less than before. Hotoko agrees with you, Yuki, about Japan. All right. What else can you tell me with being treated a certain way based on where you come from? So Lorena says Italy as well. Yes, but less than before. Margarita in Mexico. Okay. So B, less than before. Hey, Sri dear. What do you think about this question? What can you tell me about in India? Do you think that social class still affects people's opportunities today? What can you tell me? More than ever, less than before? It depends on the situation. Let's say move the country out of there. D, no, hard work is what matters. Get in there and do stuff. So Kaluna, so in the Philippines, we have, I think, a little bit B. Sometimes you need connections to have a job, which I think so too, right? And same here. In my country, contacts and surnames are crucial. Okay, so C from Rayon, let's see. It depends on the situation. I've lost my little note here with my people. Okay, because Rayon, I don't know that I know where you're from. Yeah, Pakistan. Okay, thank you. So it depends on the situation. Toko and I agree with our situation. Yes, you do. I guess it's a more than ever, Sri. Wow. Okay. So, interesting. Okay, I just find that interesting to sort of put out there. How do you feel it is for you now in the UK, Sri? Are things better? What would you say? Because I know you live in a different country. So I'm going to move on to vocab words. There are people who in a job filter the curriculum, depends on the university where you graduated. Okay, so they can kind of, and okay, Margarita, question for you. Because in the States, a lot of times the school that you go to, if you can get some sort of financial help, then you can go there. So maybe you come from a family with no money, but you get help, right? But are the schools designed in Mexico so that the rich go to the rich people's schools and the poor go to the poor people's schools? I know it's that way in high school and in the earlier grades. So you could go to a private school and then it's easier for you to get into more of the affluent sort of higher education. I think that social origin predicts life's chances. I do too. I think you can't bypass that, but I think some countries make it even more difficult for you to advance than others. The university where you graduated is clue to find a job. Okay, so it's all about getting into that specific university. And is it difficult to get into that university if you come from a family without money? Question. I agree with Margarita. The best school you graduated at a high school and a lot of opportunities you'll have. So like in the States, you can pay like easily $40,000 per year to go to high school. It's crazy. 40,000 per year. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I was just reading a comment down there. Excuse me, sorry. So I'm very unsociable, everything online now. My name is Dinara. I'm living in the USA. Thank you for letting us know your name. Thank you, Dinara, for being part of our community. But I will put that down because I love Dinara. I lost it. Dinara. That's an interesting name. Dinara, USA. Okay. And I won't put you on the spot. I'll leave you alone. Children from highly educated families start ahead and stay ahead, right? Like those are the kids that get to go to the English classes early on, or maybe nowadays the Chinese classes early on. They get extra tutoring. They get extra help for sure, right? It is a classy country where in this case, you wouldn't say classy, but it's more of a class system or a caste system, because classy is it's very elegant, and you mean more of a caste system where the poor stay poor, the rich stay rich, you do not mix. And you mean more of that. So that's a super mistake. Where you live in a neighborhood determines also your social class. Okay, all right, caste system. And Sridev, he comes from India, that's often called a caste system. And I was surprised to hear that it is still very much that way. Okay, hold on, let me pop up caste system here. Caste system. Okay, so not so much classy. It deals with the classes for sure, but it's more of a caste system where people are stuck in a certain structure. So Rayon, my dear, you're saying, I think it depends on how you position yourself in the market, but I agree that uni also plays a crucial role in it. In Italy, it is very important to attend the best universities to find a job and make a career. No pressure, right? I mean, my goodness. So everyone's welcoming Dinara. All right, cool. All right, so thanks guys for sharing this. I love these kinds of questions. This is a lot how our lesson is today. It is about Harry Potter. It is about the movies. It is about the books, but you know, we're doing us. So best school, oops, sorry, hold on, here we go. And actually, I thought while I was planning this, I had so many different questions about school life. So probably in the next 6 months, 6 weeks or so, we will do a week of school life, because I think that's interesting how different people study in different places. So best school, mostly private school, little are government funded, and it usually is in big cities. It's sometimes hard for regular students to afford, especially living in those countries. Got it. The public education is killed off. Killed something, strikes. No teachers for low salaries, right. In India recently, a high-ranked officer resigned due to caste discrimination from his co-workers. It is still the same. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Invisible caste like things still exist in Japan. So how does that work in Japan too? I had no idea that there was that in Japan. Okay, interesting. Thank you, Yuki, for sharing. Appreciate that. Okay, so this is also a really interesting topic, like social structure, maybe. Somehow, it's really fascinating. I don't know exactly how I want to phrase this, but I'll write down the idea, social structures, something like that, caste systems or society. I mean, we've had societies before. I don't know, but it could be a really interesting topic for us. Not as serious as in India. Okay, thanks guys for sharing. Let's see, let's move on to some questions here, and I will take a look and see what we've got. We're still on this topic, and yes, we're in the second book. So let's see, number 6, and here we go. I need to hop over to here. Boop. Hey y'all, hey Lauren, welcome, welcome. All right, so, oh, somehow it's not wanting to upload. Let me grab it again. Okay. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay, so number 1, how do you stay true to yourself in difficult situations, especially if it's on the marriage? Okay, so I guess the rich people are marrying the rich people, and people who don't have money stay, so interesting. Very interesting, Yuki. Thanks for sharing. I think this is going to be a really good topic for us somehow. Let's not talk so much about it now. Hello, Hadbib. Welcome. Okay, number 1, how do you stay true to yourself in difficult situations? An invisible caste system. So this means, I think in this case, Lorena, Yuki means that it's not really spoken about, but it exists. So maybe in India, people are more used to saying these people are so and these people are so, but maybe in Japan, please, my Japanese friends, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's more of a situation where it's like if it is this way and nobody says anything. Caste system exists in a family too. Okay, pets are at the top and husbands are at the bottom. That's so funny. Poor husbands. Okay. So what can you tell me? How do you stay true to yourself? So Harry Potter, especially in the Philosopher's Stone, he needs to stay true to himself. How do you do that in difficult situations? Sometimes we want to fit in when there's a difficult situation, so maybe we're not so true to ourselves when we are in that in weird situations. So what do you do? I think the first thing I do is just kind of try to, I hear Peter. in my ears saying, breathe, Jen, just breathe. So I can hear him going, breathe. So, okay, good. And my Japanese friends, please correct me. This is just what I'm assuming is what you mean. So if I am incorrect, correct me. In my opinion, most of it is how people are willing to go out of their comfort zone and push to get what they want. Okay, you mean with having success and breaking out of stereotypes and that kind of thing. I think, hold on. I've skipped something, but that's okay. Okay, we'll go back to vocabulary in a minute. I can't stay true in difficult situations. Really? Okay. So I think first thing, difficult situation for me, breathe. Just breathe. Try to find my balance. Doesn't always happen. You know, sometimes I react harshly or hard or unkind, and I'm just like, that's not really you. Why would you do that? So it's sometimes easier than others. Good advice, breathing first. Why do people see success and money? I don't know, but it's true, right, Ryan? Because like in my situation, I feel really successful. We have a beautiful community here. And, you know, we meet every week. We work together on so many different things. And talk about so many different things, but I've not earned money in 4 years. So people are always like, oh, so are you successful at it? How are you doing at this? I never know what to say, but because, you know, people think of success as money, but I feel very successful. Okay, so officially discrimination is prohibited, but it still affects into marriage. So Yuki, can you give me an example, if you don't mind? I'm really curious about that. I think it is sometimes hard to be true to yourself during difficult times, maybe because I'm not confrontational, right? So that's also a thing, but I voice out my opinion if needed. What would be overcome? So overcomes to get over something that you no longer feel this way. I have food and a place to sleep in difficult situations. I can be true to myself. Okay, so Sri, it sounds like in a difficult situation, you focus on gratitude. I love that, right? You're like, I have a roof over my head. I can eat. Maybe I'm in a country where there's no war. Maybe, you know, there's lots of things. If we sit for 2 seconds, we're in a difficult situation, we can put things into perspective by looking at things that we do have. Love that, Sri. Okay, maybe other people are answering. Number 1, if you are, please continue to do so. But we'll move on to number 2. What is one fear you've faced or would like to overcome? So if you face a situation, then you look at it face to face, you go and you deal with it. Or you would like to do that. What is a fear that you would have faced before? So one of my fears was sitting in front of a camera. Never wanted to do that. No, thank you. Why? So I don't know if it was a fear, it was like, I don't know, something weird, but I did it. I've done it. I've been doing it for 5 years. Here we are. So yeah. Anyway, what is something that you have faced or would like to face? What is the meaning of naive? Naive is when you believe everything that people tell you, for example. You don't question things. You believe the good in everything, perhaps, and don't really realize that there is danger, potentially. So, anybody answering 1 and 2? If not, we will boogie on or back to our vocab words. Number 1, I generally react, then I crash. I do too, right? Oh, it's so annoying. Confidence, shuddering, and social anxiety. Okay, stuttering. I think you mean stuttering, not shuddering. So you've mastered these things. Awesome, Rand. So confidence, stuttering, and social anxiety. Are these the things that you have faced or that you would like to face, that you would like to overcome? Sri, I would like to overcome the negative thoughts in difficult situations. I always think the worst of the worst scenarios in that time, but it helps me in some ways too, because I get prepared to face the worst. Right, I know. It's kind of a double-edged sword when you're in a difficult situation and you think of the worst possible scenarios. It kind of makes you feel like you're prepared for anything. I do the same thing. I'd like to overcome being socially awkward. Okay. Well, you're definitely not socially awkward here. You're doing just fine, sweetie. All right, let's move on to some vocab words. If you are still writing, please, by all means, continue to do so. We will read what you have to say for sure. Just let me know. All right, so these are some words that kind of relate to this book. We have 1, to exclude, 2, to discriminate, 3, stereotype, and 4, status. We have A, treating someone unfairly because of who they are. B, leaving someone out or not allowing them to join in. C, an idea or belief about a group that is often not true. And D, a person's social position or rank. So we can start matching these. I will take a look at what you have to say here. I usually react with a lot of energy when I'm faced with difficulties in life. I do too. Like, it's first react and not think. I try to breathe. I try to hear Peter. It's usually actually react, then hear Peter going, breathe, Jen, breathe, just breathe. So yeah, I need to reverse those. He needs to help me breathe first in my head. I'm not blaming him, I'm just saying. So let's see, we used to have similar status system with caste system. Okay, place to live, what to dress or what to wear, how to dress, you could say in this case, jobs, who to marry. We were forced within their status. Okay, so that has changed, I guess, because you said used to. Thank you, Yuki, for explaining. Michaela, difficult situations compress time. A tiny pause creates space for your real self. Breathing. It's a strategy, not easy to practice, but it works. That's true. So let's see. So everybody is saying 1 is B. I've got a whole beautiful sea of B's and Stre's super fast on the ball here. So let's do 1, to exclude. B is absolutely correct. Leaving someone out or not allowing them to join. So in the Harry Potter movies, the people that were not magical were often excluded from maybe higher positions or whatever. Okay, number 2. So Habiba's got an A for me. Sriya's got an A for me. Discrimination. Discrimination. What can you tell me with discrimination? So exactly, Otoko. 1 is B. Serena says 2 is A. Kaluna and Alessio and Morin. Okay, exactly. So discrimination, A. Treating someone unfairly because of who they are. Exactly. So what about with 3? And I just see that here that my question is so tiny at the bottom here. We'll do that in a minute. So Habib is saying 3 is C. What else have I got? Serena's got a C for me. Kaluna, okay. So 3, stereotype. C, an idea or belief about a group that is often untrue. All right, and last but not least, status. We had 1 is B, 2 is A, 3 is C. So 4 has to be, ta-da, D. Thank you, Lorena. A person's social rank position or rank, exactly. And I have down at the bottom of the screen here, if somebody has really good eyesight, not me, then you'll be able to read the little conversation question that I have. For those of you who have horrible eyesight like I do, then we would say, have you ever experienced discrimination? What happened? Okay, so have you ever experienced discrimination? Taking our vocab word from number 2, and what happened? Has this ever happened to you? I hope not. I hope you can say no. If it has, and if you feel like you would like to share, you're more than welcome to do so. So have you ever experienced discrimination? What happened? And I think that, it doesn't have to be only about skin color. It can be about social status. It can be about intelligence. It can be about positive things. So maybe somebody is really beautiful and they receive discrimination because of that. So lots of things can play a role in being discriminated against. So, okay, Habib says, I haven't experienced it, never experienced discrimination. Lucky you. So I think that, and I live in a foreign country, but for the most part, being an American and in Germany has been okay. There is some discrimination where there are stereotypes where they say that Americans will invite you for dinner and they don't really mean it, or things like this. There's this one story that every single German says. They're like, oh yeah, Americans, they invite you for dinner and then you show up and they're like, what are you doing here? I don't know if you have traveled a lot, but I have, and I never get invited to go to dinner at anyone's home. So I feel like one German at some point experienced this, and every German now says this about Americans. And I've experienced this actually with Germans. So I don't know. So I find this is one of these weird things that people tell themselves about Americans. And maybe there's some truth to it, but it feels a lot like fantasy. I've experienced discrimination from people who are in a higher life status. Okay. All right, I've experienced discrimination and it's horrible. I'm so sorry, Morin. Fortunately, I haven't experienced it, from Alessio. And fortunately, yes, in America, because I'm Asian. All right, my name sounds beautiful when you pronounce, okay, you're welcome. Okay, luckily, I'm not experienced it. Okay, and I think that when one does experience discrimination, one good thing that comes out of it is that we know then not to do that to other people because we know how horrible it is. So yeah, okay, let's see. Just one time, my ex-girlfriend was in a higher caste and we had to break up because her parents didn't agree with our relationship because of my caste. Quite personally though, I wanted to share, but quite personal, but I wanted to share with you. Thank you for sharing. And do you still have contact with her? Oh, that's so harsh. I'm so sorry. So Rayan, I faced discrimination from an American on call due to my South Asian accent. I'm sorry to hear that. Margarita, discrimination because I'm a woman. And men have to earn more money when we do this. So men earn more money and we do the same thing. So discriminated because of your gender. Surprised to hear about this. What do you mean? Yes, when I was working and went on maternity, I was discriminated as a mother. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to lose people because I'm really grateful y'all are all answering this. Some relatives said I'm sluggish too much, but it isn't true. Okay, so discriminated by your family. Yes, we're still in touch. Okay, maybe she can move to the UK and it's okay. I'm sorry. Oh, you poor thing. Okay, let's move on. I think we're headed actually to our next book. So let me remove this, make myself bigger. And here is our next book. We're talking about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. In this book, Harry must figure out who is really on his side. So if someone is on your side, they've got your back. Like trusting Sirius Black and understanding Peter's betrayal. So Sirius Black was in all the other books, this guy who was supposed to be super horrible. Come to find out, he's actually really great and has a bad reputation. So We're dealing with betrayal. We're dealing with knowing who's on our side. We're looking at being open-minded towards people. So a lot of you are writing, so I'm going to take a look and see what you have to say before we continue on. That's true. Once you experience it, you have to hear, you have the heart for others. Yeah, you can see it right away, right? And you're like, I'm not participating in that. You don't want to do it to others because you know how horrible it feels, right? Serena, not exactly, but when I was working part-time at the bank, so I could look after my family as well, I came under pressure from my colleagues and bosses, and I couldn't do the job I used to do anymore. Okay, what is the difference between region and territory? Cosmopolitan meaning. So Habib, let's stay where we are right now, if you don't mind, okay? If you have these extra questions, either you can look them up later on, or you can write me, okay? But let's stick with our topic right now. And I have some vocabulary words related to this situation. So let me remove this. And I will add our next slide, because we have another nice set of 4 vocabulary words. And I need to hop over here, I think. Yes. Okay. So we have assumption. For my friends with a Latin-based language, gonna love these. So easy. Assumption, redemption, perspective, and sacrifice. These are probably all good. No worries. We'll go through these quite quickly because I think that a lot of these are going to be pretty easy. If any are new, please do let me know. I'm always curious to see which ones are new for you. Otherwise, our definitions are as follows. A way of thinking about or seeing something. B, giving up something valuable for a purpose or someone else. C, a belief or idea that you take for granted without proof. So if you take something for granted, you just think it's always there. And D, making up for a mistake or doing something to show you are sorry. So, okay, Rayon and Alessia are saying 1 is C, assumption. Let's get one more answer. We'll go through these kind of quickly. So, assumption, I have C so far. So, thank you, Sri. All right, so C, a belief or idea you take for granted without proof. So you assume something. And actually, let me write this word because it's kind of cute. If you don't know this already, then A is new for you. Okay. A is new to me. Right. I think you mean 1? I don't know. So assume. So there's a cute thing in English, and I'll share this with you. Okay, so you see here this word, assume, right? And so you have, they say that when you assume something, it makes an ass out of you and me. So quite often when we make assumptions, it might make you kind of stupid because in a way, you're assuming something you don't know. You're not basing your opinion on logic. So it can make an ass out of you and me, an assumption. I always thought that was kind of cute. To make a fool out of you and me. When you make assumptions, they're quite often not, sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. You got to be open-minded. All right, Alessio, thank you for keeping us on track. No stress, Yuki. 1, assumption is new for you. So 2D, making up for a mistake or doing something to show you are sorry. Exactly. Thank you, guys. Sorry, I just read it quickly. So redemption. Yeah, you make up for something, you did something bad, you try to redeem yourself. Hopefully you'll receive redemption. What about number 3, perspective? We said 1 is C, 2 is D. What have you got for me for number 3, perspective? Kaluna says A. Michaela's got an A, Serena's, oh, we're still on D, on 2. Yes, so 3A, exactly, folks. Okay, good. So 3, perspective, A way of thinking or seeing about something. It's somebody's perspective on something. And last but not least, we said 1 is C, 2 is D, 3 is A, and 4, sacrifice. Exactly, folks. Everybody's doing a really good job on this. I think these words are pretty easy for the majority of people, but they're just good to be able to talk about this topic, and love having reviews so that these vocab words stay fresh in our brains here. So 4, absolutely, is B, sacrifice, giving up something valuable for a purpose or for someone else. You give something away, it's a sacrifice. Okay, moving on, and I have a banner question, our first banner question of the day. And here we go. Okay, what does it mean when someone says they dwell on something? And what are things that people tend to dwell on? Oh, shoot, I have to find my comment. I have to, why is that not working? Okay, there we go. 4, easy word, but hard to practice. Yes, yeah, to sacrifice something. Yes. 2 is new. Could you give a simple, for using redemption? Absolutely. When he cheated on his wife, he wanted to find redemption. He went to church to find redemption. Let me pop up that slide again. Hold on one second. And let me move over. Oop, why is that not working? Okay, so redemption. So we said redemption is 2 is D. Making up for something or doing something to show you're sorry. So often, so he was looking for redemption. He did something incorrect. And yeah, so if, scary example, yeah, sorry. Let me try to think. I don't know. I can't, that's just the, Ryan, I'm sorry, but that's just the thing that's coming to my head. Maybe you have a less scary sort of example. I would certainly appreciate it. If you do something wrong, let's see. I ate the rest of the chocolate Easter bunny, and now I need to find redemption somehow because I had way too many calories. To think or to do something related to something negative. Yeah, you need redemption. You need forgiveness. When you're looking for forgiveness, it's like then you're looking for redemption. I hope that helps, Atoko. I can ask the bot to come up with a couple of less evil sentences. Let's see. Use redemption in a sentence. Okay, so let's see. After making a mistake, he worked hard to find redemption and prove himself again. More. And maybe somebody else can think of something. She saw helping others as a way to find redemption. It's like looking for forgiveness. I think that's the easiest way. Thanks for asking. Always happy to dive into something deeper. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, what does it mean when someone says to dwell on something? What are things that people dwell on? Kaluna says, I think dwell on is when you get involved with, not sure. That's how I understand the phrase. So it's kind of like when, does anybody else focus for a long time rather than moving on? Exactly. Unhealthy? Yeah, kind of unhealthy. I wrote about dwell on something. Okay, hold on. Sorry, Sri, I didn't see that. To think or do something related to something negative. Okay, yes, when you can't stop thinking about that negative thing. Like the classic example is you're in a situation and maybe you said something that you regret now. No, it means that you don't stop thinking about it. You don't stop thinking about it. So you say something really dumb, right? And then you go home and you can't stop thinking about it. Like, why did I say that? Or 1,000 times the situation where you're like, I should have said. So you dwell on it, you cannot stop thinking about it. And what are some things that people dwell on? When you fail the exam and the next exam, you were the top notcher. That's how I understand redemption. Okay. I think it's more looking for forgiveness. Redemption has more of this thing with forgiveness. And in your example, Kaluna, sweetie, there's not really anything about forgiveness. It's more about doing better. Do you know what I mean? A little difference. Dwell on overthinking. Yes. Constant thinking. You can't dwell on past mistakes. Exactly. Dwelling on past mistakes. not being able to let go, not being able to yeah. So arguments, these are things that people dwell on, right? They can't stop thinking about it. If someone hurts you, maybe you can't stop dwelling on it. Redemption is often used when someone tries to become a better version of themselves, right? Like looking for forgiveness, trying to do better. Especially about past mistakes. Honestly, I dwell on that the most. I do too. Does it mean to focus on something for a long time? Yeah, but it's not like a test. You know, like if you're focusing on studying, not really. It's more like thinking of things that are negative that happened in your life in the past, and you can't stop thinking about them. Redemption, making up, in a way, yes. Looking for forgiveness, making up, yeah, goes in that direction. To use this in a sentence, don't dwell on your mistakes. Learn from them and move on. So don't dwell on things. It's healthier to not dwell on things. Maybe learn what you need to learn from it and then carry on. Do something new, or allow yourself the brain space to think of other things. Don't beat yourself up. So that's the point, to not dwell on things. I hope everyone is with me. I feel like I'm confusing everyone. If you're confused, let me know. I'm here to help. So yeah. People can dwell on all kinds of things. Like I said, arguments, things that you do negatively. Yeah. Maybe you have some other examples, maybe not. But we'll move on to some idioms. If you're completely confused, let me know and we will stop and take a look and figure things out. Otherwise, I'm going to continue on. Let's take a look at some idioms that help us to think of. I'm trying to move this. That can help us talk about this thing where we're dwelling on things or letting things go, that kind of thing. So let's see. And I need to hop over to here. And so. Okay, so hold on. So dwelling on is about my friend who suddenly disconnected with us without saying anything right after we had a fun day together. That's more ghosting, I think. But like dwelling on would be maybe she is dwelling on something you said, she can't let it go. If you cannot let something go, and it's just eating at you, it's always on your mind, you can't stop thinking about it, you dwell on it. Dwell on is like you drown yourself on thinking the mistake you made and can't move on. Beautiful, Kaluna, exactly, right? Like for me, something that I dwell on a lot, and I think I've given this example before, so I'll try to make it short. When my son was born, new mom, no clue, right? No help, no clue. And there was a stupid book out called that, you know, every kid can learn how to sleep. And you are supposed to allow your child, or to put your child to bed, say good night, and then leave. And then that child would cry for a couple of minutes. You would go back in. It's okay, go to sleep, leave. And then it would get longer and longer, the period, until you would go back into the room. My son did not like this. He did, like most kids, like learned very quickly. They learned to sleep. They knew that if they cried, that wasn't going to be a way for them to get out of bed. But my son would do this for hours, like hours. And I just was too naive, somebody used that word, to realize, listen to your mom instincts and don't do that. You know, and today I dwell on that. Like it hurts me so much that I did not pick up my poor son and just comfort him, because that's what he needed. You know, he wasn't trying to play psychological tricks on me. He wanted to be with me, but I dwell on this. I feel so bad. I feel like, this poor child, he really needed me. And here I am listening to this stupid book that, you know, worked for all of my friends, but not for me. So I dwell on that. I need to get over it. I tell him all the time, I'm so sorry I did that to you. He's like, Mom, stop dwelling on that. But I can't. It hurts. It really hurts me. Didn't do that with my daughter, that's for sure. So let's see, just to make sure we're on the pink. Oh, I know the book. I bought it and I never used it. My son was like yours. Oh, Michaela, I wish I hadn't. Oh, it was so horrible. I can't stop thinking that thing happened because I did or said. Aha, then Yuki, you are dwelling on that situation. Exactly. Right? So if your friend's not talking to you and you don't know why and you cannot stop thinking about it, you are dwelling on it. Exactly. Sorry, I hope that that's a fictional example. I hope that's not the case. But yes, that's exactly how to use that. Okay, we have our idiom, sorry, here. To bury the hatchet. 2, hindsight is 2020. You read the same book in Italy. It's called Fata la Nana. I would burn that book. I mean, honestly, it worked for every single one of my friends, but I should have given it a shot once or twice and been able to say, not for my kid, but new mom, don't know, not experienced, super insecure. What do you do? Yeah. Live and learn. Number 2, hindsight is 2020. 3, water under the bridge. 4, to have skeletons in the closet. 5, secrets from your past. A, 5. B, something in the past you should forget. C, to understand what was the right choice after something happens. And D, to forgive someone or stop fighting. So Lauren is saying 1 is D. Habib is saying 1 is B. What other guesses do I have here for number 1? To bury the hatchet. And even though the silly word has a U, a lot of native speakers mess this up. I don't know all these idioms. Cool, all new idioms. So to bury the hatchet, and these are ones we really do use. Even though it's U-R-Y, it's pronounced like strawberry, blueberry. So it sounds more berry than, than bury with a U, to bury the hatchet. All right, so 1 everybody is saying is D, and that is correct. Okay, to bury the hatchet is D. To forgive someone or stop fighting. You don't know 1 and 2. Okay, so yeah, to bury the hatchet, I'm not actually sure where that comes from. Let's take a look and see what that is. I think a hatchet is like some sort of thing you can chop things with. I don't know. Let's see first what a hatchet is. What is a hatchet? Because I think this is going to have a cool meaning. Hatchet. I misspelled it. Hatchet. So it's a small axe, right, for cutting wood. So you can use this to chop firewood. All right. So where does bury? And I'm going to say it's North American, and I want to say maybe Native American. Bury the hatchet come from? Just out of curiosity, really quickly, sorry. Please humor me. Yes, okay, so it is from Native American traditions. In the past, some Native American tribes would literally bury a hatchet, a small axe, as a symbol of peace when they ended a conflict or agreement. So yeah, so it comes from the United States, Native American sort of practice to forgive and forget. You're done. Okay, number 2, hindsight is 2020. What can you tell me for number 2? Hindsight is 2020. And the hindsight, so Alessia's saying 2 is C, Lorena's saying C. And in German, they have something similar as an expression. What about in your country? Do you have something? I think so. So, kol sino di poi. I don't know. So I guess it's something similar. So yeah. So we have 2C, exactly, sorry, space there for a second. Hindsight is 2020. C, to understand what the right choice was after. So 2020, we can have 2020 vision, and that means we have perfect vision, right? And we can always see things super clearly after it's happened, right? So I think that's kind of a cool idiom. We say, let's flush it in the water to bury the hatchet. Okay. All right. So then we'll hold on one second for 4. Let's do number 3. Number 3, water under the bridge. We have 1 is D, 2 is C, 3, water under the bridge. So what can you tell me? 1 was D, 2 is C, 3, water under the bridge. Kaluna's like, A? Maybe? Okay. Either B or A. Okay, 2 was C, exactly, Serena. Perfect vision in Italy is 10-10. Oh, okay. In English, or at least in the States, I don't know, we say 20-20. You have 20-20 vision. So everyone is saying that 3, we have either 3B or 3A. Everybody's a little all over the place here. Okay, so yes. So water under the bridge, 3B, something in the past you should forget. It's water under the bridge. We don't need to talk about it anymore. We don't need to talk. It's good. It's good. It's water under the bridge. And last but not least, yes, Dinara, my dear, you said that 4 is A. And so you have 3B, water under the bridge, same in Italiano. So to have skeletons in your closet, we for sure had this one before. 4 has to be A because 1 is D, 2 is C, 3 is B, 4 exactly is A. So yes, Lorena, 4 is A, 3 is B, and 4 is A. To have skeletons in the closet is 4. The same in Italiano, 4 is A. But you really, to have skeletons in the closet, whew, secrets from your past. Okay, really, that's cool. All right, so let's move on. I have some questions for you about these things, talking about trust, talking about these kinds of things right here. So let's see, number 10. And I need to hop over to the other side of the screen, so I will do that. And number 1, how do you decide who to trust? Like, what are some things that you look for where you're like, okay, that person is trustworthy. What can you tell me? How do you decide who you can trust? I have a long list. I have so many things that should be water under the bridge. Me too. Oh, yucky. I hear you. But let's move on to trust. And how do you decide who you can trust? For me, first thing, I don't listen to, I listen to what they say and what they don't say and how they say it. If they're talking about other people, for sure, Sri, you're right, 4 is A, absolutely. So if they're talking about other people, ding, 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 the things they say, like this kind of stuff in the universe that they put out. So what about you? How do you decide who to trust? What are your top 3 things? Body language is definitely one. And look at how they're behaving, how they're moving. Do they look like they're trying to hide something? Are they open? Are they relaxed? Do they feel comfortable in their skin? Because a lot of these can have to do with whether someone is trustworthy or not, unfortunately. Some people are just not confident, but if proven and tested, okay. Any other ideas of how you try to look for things that you look for in a person? For me, I need to observe the person's behaviors before other people. So, Maureen, I think, so this is also super important, totally agree, where you look at how they behave towards other people, not just to you, but to other people. Same here, big one. I don't trust people who talk behind someone's back. I'm very trusting. Okay, you're very trusting. So that's good. That's wonderful. So personality, you look for their personality. I trust everyone fast. I can be easily cheated. So I just try not to be available to anyone. Okay, Sri. I kind of am the same. Like I do and I don't. I don't know. I'm open and friendly with everyone. And if I see that I need to pull back, then I do. So I have no problem doing that. I can just be like, goodbye. But I'm pretty open, and I'm an open book. And so I guess in a way that's kind of trusting, because I know that if I feel that things are going strangely, I can pull the reins and get out of there like that. People who don't speak much but act, okay? How a person talks to others. I don't trust someone nosy. Oh, so if somebody's nosy, if they want to know too much about you, okay. By the tone of voice, absolutely, Margarita. I think that also is kind of like a little bit body language, tone of voice. Yeah. If she loves to gossip and talk behind someone's back, definitely not worthy of trust. Probably not. Okay, so what about with number 2? Do you forgive people easily? Or do you hold on to past mistakes? Do you dwell on past mistakes? Do you forgive people easily, or do you hold on to past mistakes? And how do you let go asking for a friend? How do you let go? I trust people easily and tend to end up crying. Oh, sweet Yuki, no. I just know instinctively who to trust. The first impression is very important for me. Yeah, I hear you. So, do you forgive easily? Is it difficult for you to forgive? And how do you let go from that betrayal? Like if you have been betrayed, if someone has done you wrong, then what do you do to let go of those feelings? I'd like to know. Help. It's my therapy. Because, most things I can let go of pretty easily. There's one topic, I think you know it, that I need to really get over, and I don't know how. I'm just dwell on it, and it's horrible. Because at the end of the day, if we dwell on negative things, it's only hurting us. That person doesn't care. It depends on how serious it was. Fair enough. And we can kind of do maybe 2 and 3 at the same time. It's about what kind of mistake, right? So how serious it was, if it was a really bad mistake. Okay. Number 3, have you ever given someone a second chance and been glad you did, or regretted it? I forgive people easily. I tend to forget. As long as you don't get hurt again, right? I forgive, but I don't forget. Yeah, same. But I need to forget a little bit, this one thing. Maybe, I don't know. If it's very serious for me, I never forget and never forgive. Okay. And have you ever given someone a second chance and been glad or regretted it? I'm so forgiving. Humans have the ability to forgive. It's also a reason I'm afraid to get attached to people. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because even the kindest person can hurt you and not mean to, right? So it's this really sort of strange situation. But if we don't let people in, if we don't allow ourselves to sort of become close to someone, then we also don't have that experience, that love and that joy as well. Those people whom I experience discrimination, I dwell on that. I dwell on what they did. I forgive, but I'm always reminded when I see them. And it still kind of hurts you. Yeah. Sorry, Kaluna. I would say that I'm not used to giving people a second chance. Okay, one chance, that's it. Morin, well, it depends on the mistakes the person made. I can hold on to their mistakes for a while, but over time, I forgive them. Okay, that's probably healthy, because I think like to instantly forget is also not really healthy. I think it needs to hurt for a while. You need to feel it to know, I'm not gonna ever let this happen to me again. Forget that. But I gave someone a second chance, and I do kind of regret it. In a way, I have to say. It depends on what's happened. Maybe yes, maybe no. And I love that you're participating so much. Yay. Okay, let's move on to our next book. A person who hurt me once tend to hurt me again, and I even if I gave them a second chance. So, okay. Thank you everyone for sharing. I know this is a very personal thing to talk about, so I appreciate you opening up here in our little circle. So thank you. We're heading on now to the next book, and this is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And if you were in our lesson yesterday, we said that a goblet is kind of like a really fancy wine glass, usually made of metal. I think of like medieval European kings with gold forms, with glasses that looks like a wine glass with rubies and diamonds and things in it. So like this really prominent, luxurious type of glass. I have always given a second chance, but it wasn't worth it. Yeah. But I'm actually glad I gave the second chance, because now I know I would never give a second chance in that situation ever again, no matter the person. All right, Sri, I forgive, but the second chance is a red flag to me. Okay, so Rena, I give people a second chance if they deserve it. I wonder what, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. All right, so in the movie, Harry is unexpectedly entered into a wizard tournament. So there's this big festival, big tournament, and the series of dangerous tasks he didn't volunteer for, forcing him to adapt quickly and to use his skills. So here's our first set of idioms that relate to this movie, and let me pull them up. Hope everybody is doing okay. And I will hop over to here. Okay, so to sink or to swim. 2, to be thrown into the deep end. 3, to rise to the occasion. And our definitions: A, to dwell. Oh, sorry, I'm so stuck on this dwell thing. We've had that so much. To deal well with a difficult situation and do what is needed. B, to be put into a difficult situation without preparation. C, to fail or succeed on your own without help. Kaluna, my dear, sometimes it's difficult to give a second chance because you're afraid to experience again like what happened to the broken first chance. Yes, it's sometimes difficult to know if this second chance is deserving. I agree. I think there are some things nowadays I would not do again. Just not. Because, and I will say it, if I get cheated on again, I no second chance. Because after that first time, then I had to live with the fear of it happening again. And so that felt like a prison. That felt like, it's hard to say, but it sort of felt like a cancer. You know, it felt like a sickness. Like I had to worry and be concerned all the time until it happened again. So I know for myself, I don't want to be in a relationship where I want to be in a monogamous relationship. That's my choice. And if my partner does too, great. And if that can't happen, I'm out, because I don't want to live with that, because I know what it was like to live with that. And my ex, he didn't have to worry about that. He was forgiven, he was free, and then he was off doing whatever he wanted. But I had to live with that concern, that worry all the time. So no more, no cheating. I'm out. However, it depends on the mistake. Zero tolerance for betrayal from me, right? Fair enough. Okay, so Lorena saying C, Alessio saying C. To sink or swim. Do you also have this in your language? I'm curious, my little Italian friends here. What do you have to say? Not little, but my Italian friends. Sri, the thing is, I'm afraid to give them second chance. Of course, people do change, but I trust without any doubt, and I expect something in return. I think, Sri, you just got to be careful with who you bestow your trust, because you're a very kind person, and you need to make sure that that person's also on that same level of kind with you. Okay, as you. So everybody's saying C, absolutely correct. So 1, to sink or swim. C, to fail or succeed on your own without help. What about number 2, to be thrown in at the deep end? What can you tell me? To be thrown in at the deep end. To be thrown in at the deep end. 2 is, okay, question mark A from Morin. All right. Any other guesses? Lorena saying B. Any other guesses? Alessio says B. Okay, so 2 is B, absolutely. To be thrown in at the deep end. B, we have to be put in a difficult situation without preparation. So think of a swimming pool. You're thrown in at the deep end. You can't stand. You have to swim. You're sink or swim, right? In this sort of situation. So to be thrown in at the deep end is sort of similar in that case where we have this sort of water thing going on, maybe, where you have to fight. You have to sink or swim. You have to just go for it to do it. All right, and last but not least is clearly 1 is C, 2 is B, 3 then clearly. To rise to the occasion is going to have to be A. To deal with a difficult situation and do what is needed. So when you get thrown into the deep end, you have to rise to the occasion. It's really about whether you're going to sink or swim. If you don't. All right, I don't know, trying to work all of these into one sentence is horrible. Anyway, all right, sticking still with things where life can throw you some curveballs, can throw things at you that you don't necessarily want to happen. Everyone who's saying 3 is A, you are correct. Let's see, moving on to a poll question for now. And we have so. All right. When life throws you an unexpected challenge, what's your reaction? Is it A, I panic first and then I figure it out? B, I immediately look for a solution. C, I need time to process before acting. D, I ask for help straight away. So when something negative happens, what is the thing that you do? How do you react? What is the first thing that you do? When an unexpected challenge comes your way, how do you react? I think I'm A. Panic first. I'm kind of A and B. A, B. I'm going with A and B. There's no processing in the beginning. Like I said, I need to breathe. I need to do that, but usually it's just reacting. But I wish it were more breathing. Need to hear more Peter in my head. So definitely B, I immediately look for a solution. Okay, not dealing with the drama. Alessia's going definitely for B. So Kaluna, A and sometimes C. Need time to process. Okay, so either or. Okay, these are extremes. C from Morin, time to process, and then you act. So Serena, B, looking for a solution. Lorena, A and B. Okay, same boat. Yuki, A and C. All right. Because sometimes life can be like that. Like it's like one challenge after the other, and it's just, aye. Okay, so that's kind of like our little warm-up question for this section. And now I have some questions. So Habib, you say C, you need time to process. For me, it's A and C, panic, and time to process. Okay, so it's either or. All right. All right, thanks everyone for sharing. Margarita, as well for you. It's a mix of all the options depending on the challenge. Okay, sounds healthy, sounds logical. Let's see, our questions that we have here are such, and I'm going to hop back over to here. And let's see, number 1, when you think of a time you were thrown in at the deep end, what happened and how did you cope? Like, how did you deal? If you cope with something, you deal with something. How did you cope? How did you deal with it? Think of a time you were thrown in at the deep end and what happened and how did you cope? So, what is your situation? Take a deep breath. Yes. Or you can say take a breather. Take a breather, take a deep breath. All right. What else can you tell me? So I think for me, my situation is when I found out that my ex should no longer be my ex-husband. And how did I deal? Not well. It was really, really tough. So calculate the situation. Thank you, Kima, for answering, and welcome to our community here. I think it was really tough. I was 41. My daughter was 9. My son was 13. He was in the middle of puberty. So that was a living hell. So I think for a while, I kind of just survived. I just coped. I couldn't deal really with anything. My brain, I would go out because it was so from one day this to the next day so. And I remember I would look around and everything, the stress was so high that everything that I could see was pixelated. It looked like a video game. There were several moments, not all the time, but several moments where everything was just pixelated and my brain hurt all the time. For a year. And I woke up every single night and I was totally wet. Everything was wet. So I was just in this stress situation. So I didn't really cope. I just sort of tried to survive. Hi, Jen. I'm late here. Sorry, I was at the doctor. I got my glandular fever. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry to hear you're sick. Welcome to our lesson. I hope you got medicine. So you feel better now. Kaluna, feel the pain until it hurts no more. For me, it was a matter of survival. It was just with 2 kids and in a foreign country, no family. My ex-parents-in-law were 0% there for me. So I was really alone. It was tough. It was really tough. So to understand what is going on, and then I will take action. Okay. What about with number 2? If people don't want to answer number 1, no stress. Maybe you're still answering number 1. Of course we'll cover it, but I'll just slowly move on to number 2 because I don't want to put pressure on you. Like I said, I'm an open book. I don't have really secrets, so I will tell you whatever you want to know, and even stuff you don't want to know. I didn't have anyone to ask for help, so I survived myself. Same here, right? I read a lot of books. Actually, you know what did help me? You know what helped me is that I found this Buddhist monk on YouTube. It was this guy in Australia, and he has the worst voice ever. And but I would go on my cross trainer, and I would listen to his podcast about letting go, healing, forgiveness. And I would listen to those. And every time I would listen to those, I felt better. That's how I coped. That's how I cope. Now my brain is switching on. That Buddhist monk in Australia, he saved me. He was the only friend I had really during that time. So that was good. My kids always joke with me, "Oh, Mom, when you turn into a Buddhist," but it saved me. It was the words that he said were like lotion to my soul. It just was exactly what I needed. Me too, a difficult situation. I just try to survive. Thank you, Lorena, for sharing. Carmen, did someone watch Cora? No, I don't know that. My favorite quote is, "When you hit your lowest point, you are open to the greatest change." Makes sense though, right? Then you have no more solutions. You're at the lowest point. It's time for a reset. Makes total sense, Carmen. Number 2, do you think difficult challenges shape us more than comfortable ones? Yes and no. They scar us too, right? So a scar is when you hurt yourself. And okay, for example, I'm trying to say, so I have this little dot here. It's kind of a scar. I fell when we were in Greece, and I have this scar here. You see it forever, right? And bad things can have that sort of effect on us too. So scar. So Carmen, I was bullied my whole school time and oops, hold on, sorry. Sailor Moon saved me. I don't know Sailor Moon. What she says is so point on. Also, the songs used, highly recommend. Okay, well, I'm going to put this on the screen here. I don't know Sailor Moon. I'm going to take a picture and try to figure out who Sailor Moon is. I guess it's an artist. I don't know. Carmen, help me. Sailor Moon. Yeah, I mean, I think in these times, you have to find the words, the people, sometimes unlikely sources. I mean, my Buddhist monk in Australia with the ugliest voice in the planet. I loved that man. I mean, he really saved me. When I broke up with my ex, I went through an emotional breakdown, and I coped by focusing, on my health and career. Okay, I started working out, eating healthy, and I ended up moving to UK for a master's. I didn't know that you were studying, Sri. Cool, what are you studying? Awesome. Yeah, so maybe when you have a difficult situation, it forces you to make these changes, like Carmen says, to just not live in fear and to just go for something. Meditation helps me during difficult times. Crying out loud your frustrations and do things that cheer you up, even though it's hard. Maybe you should always help yourself. Okay, Kaluna, thank you. Carmen, are you feeling better now? Wish you speedy recovery. Difficult times help me cope with problems better. And I think kind of it's one of those things with difficult times. It's kind of one of those things where what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, you know? So it's kind of like, I feel like I know how to survive this kind of thing. You know, I picked myself up and got back to where I needed to be. So it does build confidence. It does scar you, but you know, I don't know. It's a cartoon, I think. Okay, so thank you. That's from Serena and Carmen. Thank you. It's an anime series from the 90s. My mom still says she is so happy that I watched it because I was so deep in depression before, and it saved my life, really. Oh, Carmen, sweetie. Habib, difficult situations make us rely on ourselves and also show us the true reality of relatives and friends. Okay, so I think in this case you mean like who's really your friend and who's kind of like not there for you in certain situations. It's a Japanese anime. Okay, thank you, Yuki. So hi, Jen, I just coped with the divorce, delegating the effort to my attorney. So to be able to find a solution as quick as possible, avoiding too much stress. Also, right, like I'm not dealing with this, I'm not talking about it, let someone else handle it. I hear you, Alessio. Same with me, like Serena, I practice meditation and I pray. Yuki, no, I'm not feeling better. So sorry, bad experiences leave their marks, but we can learn from them. Yeah, challenges shape us to deal with other situations. At the beginning, it looks difficult, but when you find a solution, you're able to solve the problem. Besides, you might have wisdom. Yeah, you might become wiser for it. And I think also another thing is that when, again, it's one of those situations that when you go through something difficult, it also helps you to be able to help other people. So not that I'm wishing this from the universe, please, no. But sometimes when you go through hard times, it helps you to be a more empathetic and understanding person. So if you come out of it on the other side, less hurt or stuff figured out, you can help other people, which is a good thing. It gives you the wisdom to be able to help other people. I'm on resilience search at university, and we found out that it creates resilience to have been through difficult times. So it really makes you stronger. Just never give up. Interesting, Carmen. Okay. Let's see. Difficult times really have this learnings that shape our life. There's something you will gain from your pain. It's maybe positive or negative, right? Or a mix, you know? If you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that's all you will ever see. Yeah, it's true. Every challenge we overcome makes us better people. Get well soon, Carmen. Okay, so number 3, thank you everyone for sharing. Thank you for opening up. Thank you, thank you. What was the last time you did something that took you out of your comfort zone, and how did it go? Are you happy that you exited your comfort zone? When was the last time you exited your comfort zone, and how did it go? For me, every time I do one of these live streams, it takes me out of my comfort zone. I don't like being in front of a camera. I don't like this, but then I love it because we have our little energy, our bubble here on this great web, internet space. And so then I'm happy. I'm happy when all of you show up and come and play with me. So, but it takes me out of my comfort zone. A lot of times before I start, I always stumble in the beginning and at the end. I don't like beginnings. I don't like endings. I never know what to say. And I'm not one of these people that can have this prepared. This is what I say every time. So yeah, through the middle of it, all good. This is all good. But I don't like beginnings and endings, especially not in live streams. Difficult challenges shape us more deeply, not because suffering is noble, but because discomfort forces clarity. Ooh, love that, Michaela. Comfort doesn't transform, it stabilizes. Okay, I'm reading this again, Michaela, because this is one of your beautiful proses here. I'm going to pop it up here. So difficult challenges shape us more deeply, not because suffering is a great thing, like it's noble, but because discomfort forces us to be clear about things. It forces us to see things. Comfort doesn't transform, it stabilizes. Love that. Beautiful. Thank you, Michaela. When I gave my number to my physiotherapist, did not go well. Oh, no, sweetie. Oh, no. Okay. I'm sorry, sweetie. So that was when you did that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Number 3, in this period, I prefer staying in my comfort zone to protect myself. Yes. And sometimes we have these phases, right, where comfort zone is exactly the right thing. And sometimes in our life, it's the worst thing, right? For my son right now, I'm like, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You're 25. You don't need to be comfortable. Go out there, explore. But, I'm a mom. I think I know best, and maybe I don't. Yuki, I don't know about that because very difficult, serious problems can be heavy trauma and can affect our personalities. Definitely. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing with the audience, with everyone here. So thank you. I'm going to move on to our next book, and this is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So in this book/movie, Harry and his friends often disagree because the rules at Hogwarts are really strict. They're not allowed to do a lot of stuff. And so they have to figure out whether to follow the rules or to rebel. Morin. Let's see. What took me out of my comfort zone was improving my communication with other people. Okay. Yes, that can. When you have anxiety and with other people and trying to work on that, I guess, Morin, did you take baby steps, like a little bit of communication and a little bit more communication? How did you do it? I'm curious because I know a lot of us here have this sort of like social anxiety thing. So maybe you can help someone with tips about what you did. Kaluna, I always think I'm the weakling in the family. I didn't know that I could achieve and graduate as a volunteer reserve soldier. Wow. I somehow got out of my comfort zone, but I'm somewhat always going back. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Wow. You have to go now. Bye, Yuki, sweetie. Take care, sweets. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you're a reserve soldier, a volunteer reserve soldier. That must have been tough training. Respect. I would not be able to do that. And I'm not a nails lady. I'm just a weakling. So, all right. So let's move on. See you next week, sweets. Good night. And I mixed up last week and I said that we were going to talk about table manners this week. I forgot that we had a live stream with Mike this week. We will talk about table manners around the world next week, which I think will be a really fun conversation. Yeah, it took me a lot of courage to do my Abitur later. Yes. And I thought I was too old, but I'm glad you did it. Yay. Congratulations, Carmen. Very, very cool. And for those of you who don't know, Abitur is the high school graduation diploma that you get, and it's really difficult. I think I never would have passed it if I had to do that here in Germany. It's really hellish. All right, moving on, because I wanted to take a look at this. We said that in this next book, Harry Potter is he doesn't know if he should rebel. And I think that this is kind of a cool thing. I wanted to point this out because we have to rebel, which is a verb where you go against the system. And oh, what happened? It went away. Hold on. Sorry. You come back. And then we have a rebel. So to rebel and rebel. So on the noun, the accent, what? Oh, I think I know why. Hold on. And this should be longer. Okay, and show. There we go. All right, so to rebel is the verb and a rebel is the noun. And I just kind of wanted to pop that up and share with you because there's a different pronunciation on those. And I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. All right, that was just one thing. Moving on. We have phrasal verbs related to this. And let me move them onto screen. We need our 14th slide. Okay, and I need to remove this. Oop. All right, not going so well. We'll go here. Let me get rid of my rebel and to rebel. And there we go. So here are some phrasal verbs. We have 1, to push back against, 2, to comply with, 3, to crack down on, and 4, to rally around. And here are our definitions. That's this weird thing again where it's backwards. Oh, my brain. A, to follow rules or instructions. B, to impose or resist something. C, to act strictly or to stop something illegal or bad. And D, to support someone or a cause together. To support someone or a cause together. All right. So what about number 1? Which one works best with number 1? To push back against. Which one do you think? Everyone's saying goodbye to Yuki. Bye-bye, Yuki. So to push back against. I think Hermione was a bit in conflict with herself because she wanted to stick to the rules the first year. Yeah, that's true. She was a real stickler for the rules. So, okay. Denora's saying 1 is C. Kaluna's got a B for me. Alessio's got a B. Anybody else? Serena's got a B. And let's see. So yes, to push back against is 1. B, thank you everyone for participating. To oppose or resist something. Push back against something. You oppose something. You resist it. Number 2, to comply with. To comply with. What can you tell me works best for that? To comply with. Just trying to see where we are. So Carmen's saying 2 is A, Alessio's saying 2 is A. We'll go through these kind of quickly. Thank you, Moran. To comply with is kind of the opposite, right? To follow the rules or instructions. You comply with it. It's sort of the opposite of number 1. Number 3, so Kaluna A, number 1 is, number 2 is A. 2 is A, to comply with, A, to follow the rules or instructions. And number 3, to crack down on. What can you tell me for number 3? To crack down on. What can you say? Number 3, to crack down on. We said that number 1 was B, number 2 is A, number 3 and 4 new. Cool. To crack down on and to rally around. Cool. All right. Thanks for letting me know. I'm always curious. So C, question mark, question mark. Everybody's saying C, question mark. Okay. Yes. So to crack down on is C. To act strictly to stop something illegal or bad. And it actually doesn't have to be illegal or bad, all with question marks. Okay, cool, good. I'm glad to stump you, Carmen. That makes me happy. So if you crack down on something, you get really strict with it. You're not allowing it. So if your children are using their phones all the time, you can crack down on that habit and you take their phones away and you're really strict about it and you don't allow them to use them all the time. So that would be one way of using it. A lot of times you'll see we have to crack down on crime. We need to crack down on drugs. So become really strict and to not allow them to happen. All right, cool, awesome. I am so happy because usually you all know everything. So I'm happy I've stumped you. All right, so let's see. So yeah, you'll hear this a lot in the news. Crack down on crime, crack down on injustices, crack down on different things. Illegals coming into the country. You will hear it used a lot like that. Exactly, 3 is C. So last but not least, 4, to rally around. 1 is B, 2 is A, 3 is C, so 4 has to be a big old D. To rally around, D, to support someone or a cause together. So yeah, so that to rally around someone, to really support them. We have to rally around him right now. He really wants to run this marathon, but he's pretty insecure. So let's rally around him and send him some words of encouragement. So if somebody loses someone, we need to rally around them right now. So it's when you want to, as a group, get together and to support someone. That's how you would use that. Yeah. So that's how we would use those. So I'm going to move on to some questions. I'm going to jump a little bit because this is a very long live stream. It's hard to cover 8 books in an hour and a half. So it was a lot of preparation this week. It was crazy. But I think it's a nice lesson. I think that I love these lessons that give us an opportunity to express ourselves in a way that's a little bit more meaningful than I like pizza. So number 1, have you ever disagreed with a rule or authority? What did you do? Did you push back against something? Rally around, is it used only in social context? You can rally around a project, an idea. So anything that you support, you could also rally around that. Does that answer your question? So have you ever disagreed with a rule or authority? Have you ever pushed back? What did you do? Maybe you protested. Maybe you broke the law. I don't know. Immigration crackdown is often seen in BBC News. Exactly. So you'll see a crackdown on immigration. Exactly. A crackdown on crime. You will hear these. I promise you. A lot of these are used in sort of news situations. You're welcome. Sorry, I don't mean it like that. So happy to have everybody here and participating. It's wonderful. So have you ever disagreed with a rule or authority? What did you do? I think I don't publicly disagree enough. I would really like to go to more protest. I think it's important. But I haven't. I don't, I have to say. We can kind of do 1 and 2, I guess, at the same time. You can answer both questions or just one. It's up to you. When is it important to stand up for others? I think it's always important. When you see people being unkind, when you see someone who's like an underdog who can't defend themselves. Yeah, I've disagreed with a lot of rules. Okay, I'd love to hear which rules. I'm kind of a rebel. Yes, my teacher wanted that the good should play against the bad players in PE. What? And I said, that's not okay. And I went straight to the director. And in this case, probably if it's a public school, Carmen, then you would say the principal. I always stand up for others and myself. I disagree with the huge taxes and fees. What did you do? Can you do anything? Yeah. Any other answers that people have for 1 and 2? Principal. Yes. But I think you could also say director. So no stress. I know what you mean. The director of the school, the principal of the school. Typically, principal is with school, but you can say director. And if it's a private school, then it's probably a director. So standing up for others when they can't speak for themselves. In this case, sometimes like in Germany, then if somebody doesn't speak German and they speak English and the other person doesn't really speak English, then I can try to help out in that way. I went out to a demonstration in the streets. Okay, so you've done that. I would like to protest for a lot of bad things, but I'm not so brave. Okay. Right now, our government is in a different crisis. I always listen to the news. I sometimes disagree with the solutions, but I just share my opinion with my family. It's always important to stand up for others when there's injustice, any kind of injustice. I agree, definitely. I always get in there. I haven't been to a protest, but I have signed a protest on government websites. Okay. When I was young, I often protested against strict rules and authorities, but I rarely disagreed with the rules. Okay, interesting, Serena. It's important to stand up for inequality, most definitely. Okay, let's move on to a new book. So let me hop out of here. And book/movie. Harry experiences jealousy. We're in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. For those of you who love these movies, Harry experiences jealousy and insecurity when he notices Ron and others in relationships or achieving things that he feels a little unsure about. Okay, so let's move on. I wanted to point this out again. We've had this before, but I always think it's good to have reminders. Another example, my neighbor has a stalker. I basically yelled him out of the house. I was scared to death. Courage is not in the absence of fear. Wow, Carmen, wow, that's so scary, sweetie. I'm so glad you're safe. That's very scary. Your neighbor, I'm sure, was very grateful to have you on her side. Yes, okay. I was just trying to see if it was really... so a man, not a woman. All right. So let's see the stalker, that is. So jealousy versus envy. What is the difference? What can you tell me is the difference between jealousy and envy? We've had this before. I always forget. I always have to look this up. This is one of those things. I need to do like a whole series of things I screw up. And this is one of them. This will be number 1. So for me, we're reviewing this because I always forget the difference. There's a subtle difference between the two. This thing. I don't know. Off. There we go. So jealousy versus envy. Do you know what the difference is? There's a super easy explanation. And I will give you a second to maybe see if you can come up with an answer. The difference between jealousy versus envy. No. Thank you, Carmen. Good. Now I know that you're not typing. All right. So jealousy is when you don't want to lose something. So you have a partner and he's checking out someone else and you're worried that they are going to leave you. And envy, Serena, is for something. Now, I read this too, but I also think that it's kind of like envy is also when you want something. So So I think you can also envy someone that they're in an amazing relationship, right? So envy is really like, I want this. I wish I had this. God, they have a beautiful designer purse, or they live in a beautiful home, or they travel all the time. I want that too. So the things that you want as well is more envy. Dang it, where did that thing go? It's just hopping off of here. You're supposed to stay there. Stay. So yeah. So envy is I want something, and jealousy is you're afraid to lose the thing that you have. I believe jealousy and envy has the same meaning, and they're hand in hand, right? I mean, but there is a slight little difference, and so I think it's kind of fun to sort of to focus on it for a second. So yeah, envy is like, oh, I really want that, and jealousy is like, I don't want to lose that. So. Yeah, Kaluna, never dealt with that before. Had to be reported to the police. Oh, yes, scary, scary. All right, because in this book, Harry Potter deals with jealousy. He might deal with, more probably with envy, where his friends have things, he doesn't. He feels alone. And so here is my next question to you. Have you ever felt jealous or envy of a friend? Have you ever felt jealous or envious, I think, of a friend or your partner? How did you handle it? Have you ever felt jealousy or have you ever felt jealousy or envious of a friend? Envy is terrible. Envy is more negative than jealousy. I think it's both kind of negative. I don't know. I'm not sure which is worse. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Do you in Italian have a difference between these two words? I'm curious, actually. You're welcome. You're welcome. Sorry, they're not positive words. Sorry. But yeah, have you ever felt this? I feel this with Peter sometimes. Like, you know, he's so smart. He knows everything. He's rarely wrong. And I'm sort of like, I want to be like that too. You know? A bit of jealousy is not insane. You know, it can bring to passion somehow, I guess. Yeah. So, and how do you handle it? I don't know. I just call him Google. He knows that, yeah, they can't compete with him. So what can you tell me? Anybody want to share anything? Otherwise, we're heading to our second to last book. This is the longest live stream. I'm so sorry. I'm going to cut some things out now. Sometimes jealousy, oops. Sometimes I feel envy of someone I know. It's horrible, but it's an emotion. Sometimes jealousy for success and want to be too. So in this case, it would be more envy, but yeah, if you're not. Can I say I feel envious of you, or I am envious? So you would say, I am envious, I feel envious of you. You could say both. I feel envious of you, or I am envious. Same. You could say the same. No worries. I usually envy people's confidence, especially in public speaking. Great sentence. Sorry you feel that way. I'm sure if you worked your way into being in the military, you can deal with this. You got this, sister. I am jealous of people who live where it's warm. I want that. Exactly, right? Yeah, totally. Okay, super. So then let's move on. And I'm trying to cut out a couple of things. I really went nuts in the planning department on this time. Sorry about that this is going on for forever. So let's work on a couple of like more positive things. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do three more points here. So in Italian, the terms are similar. Oh, okay, it looks very similar. Geliosa e invidia, like envious. I feel envy of people that live close to the sea. Wonderful, exactly. I handle it by not trying to feed this sentiment and accept it as something normal. Yeah. Right. And I think sometimes if you're just admitting it, saying, I do feel this way, then it helps to kind of lessen it a little bit. You know, like if you're trying to suppress it, no, I don't feel this way, because you feel silly, then it makes it worse somehow, maybe. So being honest with yourself is the first step, perhaps. I'm going to pop up a banner question. We're moving into kinder, nicer, more appealing territory. Positive things, working on solutions here. So what things keep you going when things feel really hard? What do you do? What is your support? I think that we kind of answered that though, because I said like with the whole Buddhist thing with my guy in Australia, but maybe you have something else that you want to add. Give it like a minute or so. Carmen, I live in a tropical country and sometimes the hot temperature is too hard to handle. I envy those in cold countries. Exactly, right? The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. I eat chocolate. It's the best defense when some things are really hard. Yes. So maybe somebody goes and does sports. Maybe you join our lessons. I don't know. Eat chocolate. I listened to a Buddhist monk in Australia. You know, I don't know. Lots of different things, what you can do. So you keep going. Maybe you listen to motivational music. Kaluna, I felt most comfy in Brazil. I love the heat. It's the best for my arthritis. I guess with a bit of humidity to it as well, not like a dry heat, a wet heat. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody's answering this. So I will just kind of slowly wait and see. If not, no stress. All right, so we'll move on to our final point. I think that that's fine for today, right? Okay, and this is a nice one. I think this is interesting. So in the last book in Harry Potter, it's a lot about kind of like things ending and talking about legacy and how people are remembered. Brazil is my favorite country, okay? And talking about this, so let me add our last banner question for today. And I'm very curious. I don't have number 6 on here. Okay, so I have to create the banner right quickly. Excuse me. And let's see. So my question to you is, who is someone in your life or in history that you think showed real courage? What do they do? Okay. Add banner. Okay, and here we go. So who is someone in your life or in history that you can think of that you felt showed real courage? What do they do? And this is because at the end of Harry Potter, one of the characters that the entire time we thought was a really bad guy ended up being someone who was a good guy and was doing things for the right reason. So my best friend Manu keeps me going. Then he sends me gifts, then a new PC game or chocolate. That's sweet. It's very sweet, Carmen. Glad you have him. So anybody else want to share the person in their life or in history that you think showed real courage? What did they do? So, I mean, I think an obvious one would be Mahatma Gandhi. He led peaceful protest in India, and he showed a different form of protest for change and for rights for people. I think also to get rid of the British, right? Help me out. Sri, are you still here? So, yeah. Who can you tell me? Nelson Mandela is also someone who showed real courage. He went to prison for many years to stand up for the rights of his fellow Black citizens or fellow Black compatriots. So he stood up for the rights of people, went to jail for it. That's usually something. Anybody else, or maybe somebody in your life? Like for me, my dad, like he raised me on his own. It was the 70s and the 80s, and he had no idea what he was doing. He was like 31 years old, 32 maybe. So he showed real courage. So Potter made you and us think a lot about questions. Who would have guessed? I know, right? Right? I mean, yeah. My best friend Larissa defended me in front of rude classmates. I really like when she did that. Oh, I'm just happy, Marin, that she did that for you. It must feel wonderful. Anybody else have anything else that they would like to share? Any person they can think of in history? Did you watch Brubaker, the guy who went to prison as an inmate in disguise to show what goes on in there? Really happened? No, I don't know that. Is that on Amazon or on Netflix? Where is that? How long ago was that, Carmen? For me and our country's heroes, because they offer their lives fighting foreign colonization for our country's freedom and independence. We were under colonization for more than 300 years. Thank you, Kalina, for sharing. So Santiago in Novels of Old Man and the Sea, he never gives up, although he didn't catch fish for several weeks, okay? Shows courage to wake up every day and to continue on doing something that you believe in. I get it. Okay. Anybody else have anyone that they would like to share? Otherwise, I would slowly but surely say goodbye. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you for everyone who joined today. I really appreciate everyone showing up and for, talking sometimes about really deep and personal things here. I love our community, so thank you. Nowadays, Pedro Sanchez in Spain, not paying money for weapons. No, not really. No, it's really old. I got it in a DVD in 1980. Robert Redford is, playing the main character. Okay, I don't know that. Most and best examples are mothers, could be, not mine, but yes. So thank you, everyone. I want to just say again, because I don't know how many of you were here when I said this at the beginning of the lesson. Because you show up every week and you really try and you come here and you practice, you really are speaking and writing, really incredible English. Everyone is getting better and better. I thought it was really cool yesterday in our live stream. Some of you were there with Mike, and Mike was reading your comments and he's like, wow, these are great comments. People are really able to express themselves and they're really saying interesting things. And I was thinking, those are my peeps. So I am so super happy that you come here every week and that you come and share everything with us, and you're doing a fantastic job. I think that, this practice is really paying off. You're doing a really great job. And I don't say that enough, and I should. So congratulate. Wait, hold on. I found this thing here. Hold on. Sorry, wait, don't go anywhere. Wait. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. Dang it. Maybe it's here. It's here. Hold on. You all know. Here. This is what you get. You did a great job. You're doing a great job. So, all right, really quickly, let me take a look at your comments here. And so that was that. My grandfather left Spain alone in the ship. When he came to Argentina as an immigrant, he was 16 and traveled alone. And hello, Soledad, darling. I did not know you were here. Thank you for sharing. The owner created Dyson. I was surprised. Okay. I don't know much about him or that person. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you, sweetie. It's so wholesome here with you. We have a good thing going here. Bye, Lorena. In my personal life, it's my mom who managed to recover from the trauma of my dad's death. Oh, sweetie. And faced all the struggles on her own. Also, she looked after me without any insecurities. I'm happy you have such a great mom. Thank you for your time. You're welcome, Miss Kaluna. Thank you, Margarita. Thank you for being here and showing up every week, every one of you. Thank you, guys. Ciao a tutti. Thank you so much. I'm really glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you participated. It's very cool. Hey, Carmen, nice to always have you here. Take care, Alessio. Which day is the next live? Next Tuesday, I will be on Iwa, and then I will be on YouTube. And so thank you, Lauren. Take care. See you, Kaluna. Table manners is the next topic. So wonderful. And I noticed actually before this lesson today that like 5 people had already liked this lesson. So thank you. Maybe that helps. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't get these things. Anyway, big hugs and thank you very much. See you soon.